Central Florida also.
Yeah,
I don't understand, dude. I do not understand the Klay conversation. I do not get it. I think part of it is attributable to, frankly, how influential agents are in the reporting on the NBA. I don't mean this as a local criticism. I'm saying the national conversation where people are talking about all this big money he's going to get. I'm going, what did he go in the last 2 elimination games? So was it 3 of 29? I mean, he still has value. Don't get me wrong. He had decent numbers, but it's just weird to me that there's going to be any kind of intense negotiation. I feel like the conversation needs to be simple. It needs to be, look, here's the number. 2 years. I know TK said 20 mil, right? That was the Kawakami number, 20 million. Let's just throw that out there.
A year?
A year.
No. 10 mil a year for 2 years.
Woo!
20
Now
mil.
we're speaking my language.
20 million total. And it's, look, we love you,
Wiseman
Klay.
money.
We love you, and we can have a lot of conversations about your role, but we are not going to have a conversation about money. We paid you so much after you were injured. And if we're being totally real about it, did we just get over 40 million in value? Is that what we got? Did we get that? I feel like if you want to be here, then you're here. You made a ton of money from us, and we gave it to you in part because of what you did before, but you don't have kids. You don't have a wife. If you want a penny pinch and do the Orlando Magic route or whatever, you're free to do it. And when you come back, we will give you a wonderful tribute. We will retire your jersey, and it will be love, all bygones be bygones. But we are not getting into a protracted negotiation with you back and forth about your value. It's, if you want to be here, you're here. You know what made the San Antonio Spurs the San Antonio Spurs for 2 decades? People don't talk about this enough, but the stars took pay cuts. So you're either going to take the pay cut or you're not. And that's really just how it has to be. Keep it all simple. That's how I see it anyway.
I think that's what Dunleavy does too. I can't imagine the conversation goes. I mean, I'm sure it's going to vary a little differently, but I think that's what they end up. Because how can they possibly do the
it's just you're not gonna leverage us. Like your leverage is we love you and you're a decent,
but
frankly, backup. Yeah. Well, yeah, Bob talked about how hard the conversation would be and all that. I mean, look, he can provide value. He's an NBA player. He is probably a decent backup or role player in the right situation, but this isn't, I just don't understand. I don't understand some of the noises that have come out about it and the idea that teams will cash him out if they want to, they can. I mean,
so you're with me. You're taking that as like agent bluster because I'm there's always a chance, but I'm going to need to see it to believe that some team is giving 34, will be 35 before the All-Star break. Klay Thompson, 3 years, 100 million, given what we've seen from him and knowing his leg injuries.
I'm just trying to figure out, okay, so what's the Miami Heat cap situation? They love to do stuff like that. But I know, I don't think they have any sort of room to do anything like that. I think it's hard to know.
It just wouldn't make sense.
Yeah. Or the Kings, what's their situation? Who knows? You could talk yourself into the idea he can shoot, but again, 3 of 29 in the last 2 elimination games when it gets hard. And this is a situation where he's more open than he would be on other teams. And I mean, maybe somebody wants to cash him out, but again, it goes back to Tim Duncan took pay cuts. Are you too good to take a pay cut? You're too good to take a pay cut when you got way more than the value you gave the team. If he feels that way, he can feel that way. If he wants to go, he can go. Nobody should be bitter over it. But I'm just saying that this isn't a situation where I feel like the Warriors should be getting leveraged by him, given the past history.
I wonder what the true number is. So a couple of things. I wonder what the true number is that they'll have for him, because I doubt it's 2 for 20. But the other thing is too, like, I wonder what Klay's actually feeling when it comes down to it. Like, is he actually that guy? I got a feeling that they end up threading that needle. Talk about thread needles. I imagine they end up doing like a 2 for. Actually, I was thinking 2 for 40. But it just wouldn't shock me. Yeah.
The reported preseason offer from the Warriors was 2 for $48. So they were willing to give him that before the season started. Do they go down off that number? I mean, he didn't play well enough to justify more than that
number.
But
he certainly did not. I mean,
good in the second half, tough in the first month, 2 months of the season. So I think just kind of up and down. 20. I mean,
all it takes is one team making it a bidding war, right? Like to your point, but yeah, I mean, it feels like he, there's probably some like you gave Draymond $100 million, why not me? You gave Wiggins $100 million, why not me? Like some of that going on there too. I'm as good as those guys. All this stuff kind of ties to.
But I mean, he's not as good as Draymond. He hasn't been near as good as Draymond.
No, he's not.
Draymond, it gets obscured because Draymond's so frustrating, but not near the value at this point. What's his career earnings? What's Klay's career earnings right now? I know you're not supposed to now in the media. You're not supposed to pocket watch.
The deal he got was 5 years, 190, and so he had another 70 before that. It's got to be upward of 270 at this stage. So
even if he had 3 wives and 10 kids, I think he'd be fine. Ethan, to your point about wife and get cracked, really cracked me up when you said that. I don't think that.
No, people don't talk like that. It's you're not supposed to do that.
Million.
268 million career earnings.
I think he's fine. I think he'll be all right.
Yeah, I think he'll. Plus Anta, I've just
all right.
And by the way, I'm just to be clear, I'm not saying hate the guy or be mad at the guy if he says the money really matters to me and I'm leaving because it's not enough money. If that's what you choose, that's what you choose. But I just think that it's got to be a stark choice. And this shouldn't be a Bob Myers kind of situation where you're just trying to make the player happy. I think we're past that. They're in a situation right now where I've seen other people say it and I totally agree with it. They've got to start paying guys for what they're going to do as opposed to paying guys for what they've done.